So Simmers, welcome back to a brand new video, or welcome in. My name is Ro, I make a lot of Sims videos. I hope you enjoy. And in today's video, I would love to tell you about my legacy challenge. I've technically written this legacy challenge 2 years ago. However, it is called the Pack Legacy Challenge, and with every new expansion pack or game pack that has enough gameplay to it that releases, I actually update this challenge, meaning that over the past 2 years, I've been continuously expanding this challenge, but I've never really done like a new video that has a full overview of what the challenge is, what the vision behind it is, where you can find all the information, and also where you can find my own playthrough, and basically just everything about this challenge. But I'm so passionate about this challenge. It is literally one of my love babies when it comes to the content that I've created, and I'm incredibly proud of it. And recently I've started to feel the itch to write a new legacy challenge, which I figured would be the perfect time to secretly announce that. So if you want to follow along on that journey, please make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss it when I release my brand new legacy challenge that I hope to write later this year. But in the meantime, I also feel like it is a perfect time to spotlight the legacy challenge that I've already written. So without further ado, let's actually get into the depths of the Pack Legacy Challenge. So my vision for this legacy challenge was that a lot of us simmers buy a lot of the expansion packs, but then before we full well play through it, other things catch our attention. That can be a new legacy challenge, that can be a, I don't know, maybe even a new pack, maybe new kits, maybe a new shell challenge, maybe our other saves. There are so many things to a pack that rarely we do get to enjoy every aspect of a pack before we move on to a new project. If you're anything like me, that means that there is a lot of gameplay in The Sims that you might not even know exist, or there's a lot of gameplay that you know exists but you've never tried it yourself. Therefore, I decided to write a legacy challenge where I challenge you to play through every single pack one generation at a time. Every generation highlights all of the most important features of that pack, allowing you to genuinely get into the depths of that pack, making sure that you get basically your money's worth of value out of the pack in terms of playtime. I made sure to give every character a little backstory so that you have a place to begin with your storytelling, and I tried to make the challenge challenging for people that have either been playing The Sims for a really long time or for a shorter time and are a bit more new to the game. Meaning that I've split up the goals in the challenge into like mandatory, quote unquote, because you always get to decide how you want to play a game yourself, but mandatory and optional goals, meaning that if you are a longtime Sims player and you're really playing for basically getting the most out of every pack, you get to include the optional goals, making every generation a little bit more extensive and a little bit more challenging, but hopefully by making them optional, it also makes the challenge accessible for more entry-level simmers. So now that I've explained a little bit about the general philosophy around the Pack Legacy Challenge, I'm also very proud to say that after 2 years, I have finally settled on a proper logo for the challenge. This took a really long time for some reason. I never really found anything that sat right with me, but the logo is here, and I hope that you enjoy that. I hope it encompasses what you expect of this challenge, and with this logo, I also decided to give the actual page where you can find all of the information about this legacy a little overhaul. So let me show you that so you know where to find it. I publish this legacy on my website, meaning that every single time I update it, you can always find the most recent version on my website. I originally also had a PDF document, but keeping things updated in 2 different places turned out to be not the smartest idea. So if you go to my website, on the left-hand side, you will find a little menu that tells you all the links and like navigation things on my website that you can go to, and one of them is The Sims, and then it tells you Pack Legacy. If you click on the Pack Legacy, it basically opens the website that holds all the information about the legacy. Quickly move my camera out of the way so that I can actually properly show you what is on this website. So if you go here, at first there's a little bit of an explanation around the challenge, which is basically what I just gave you. It is the vision behind the challenge and why I wrote it. Then below it, there is actually a link to my Ko-Fi shop, to a Notion dashboard to keep track of this challenge. I'm going to show you guys that in a little bit, but don't worry, it's completely free. I just have it on my shop so I can easily update it if needed. Just know that it is completely free, and I would love to show you how you can keep track of this challenge if you do decide to start playing with it. Next to that, I have 2 little links to YouTube videos. One is to a tutorial on how to disable packs. This is in case you want to make your own playthrough a bit more challenging and you actually only want to play with the base game and the pack of that generation. This way you can actually disable packs temporarily so that you can do that for this playthrough. The second one is a link to my own full playlist with every single episode of my playthrough of this legacy challenge. I am only in generation Generation 4, so I'm continuously uploading new episodes to this playlist. I will also show you my YouTube page because I recently did something to hopefully make it a little bit more accessible to start watching this challenge later down the line, but this is the link to the full playlist. Right below that, you will actually find all the information that you need to start playing it yourself. So if you go in here, you have the basic rules. These are just the 3 rules that you need to know to get started with your game. Then you have other rules, which are basically just FAQs, questions that I got asked a lot in the making of the challenge and publishing it initially. And then there's a little bit of information about stuff pack and kits, so I would love to walk you through all of these. So basically, you are allowed to use, build, buy, and cast items from other packs, unless you want to make it challenging for yourself and actually disable those with the pack disabler that I just showed you. Other than that, please know that it is your playthrough. That means that you get to decide how you want to play it. In my own playthrough, I'm playing with all of my packs, meaning that even now that I'm on the 4th generation, my sim is still going to university as well, and I'm basically just focusing on a specific pack, but not excluding all the other ones. The thing is, it says you must complete all the goals of the generation before you can move on to the next one. That is just a general legacy challenge rule. That is not because I'm here to tell you that you are not allowed to continue with playing and absolutely must burn yourself out on a goal. So please know that these rules are here to guide you. They're not here to punish you for anything. If you don't enjoy a specific goal, I personally got stuck on the Critters collection in the 1st gen and I just decided not to fully complete it. So it is your playthrough. Always make sure to prioritize fun. Then the last one is you can complete the optional goals. You don't have to. Like I said earlier, that's purely there to make the challenge a bit more difficult for yourself. Other rules are that you are allowed to use custom content. This is your challenge. Do with it whatever you want. You can also play this challenge either with aging on or with aging off or whatever lifespan you desire. With the extensiveness of this challenge, I cannot recommend playing it on short lifespan. I don't think it would be feasible, but if you want to try it, let's go for it. Let me know in the comments down below how that goes. You are allowed to play with money cheats. You are allowed to play with mods. It is completely up to you. And basically, you get to decide how you spice up this challenge from the basis or the foundation that I give you. Then lastly, most of the kits and the stuff packs actually did not have enough gameplay tied to it for me to write an entire generation. That means that it's up to you whether you want to use the kits and the stuff packs in other generations or whether you want to completely disable them. Again, I feel like I keep repeating myself, but it's your challenge. Play it the way that you want it and use this legacy as your inspiration. Now that we got the basic rules out of the way, let me actually show you what a generational page looked like. So below here, I have written every single generation for all the expansion packs that had enough gameplay. And once you click on it, there is a little backstory, which will tell you a bit about the personality and the kind of like little story hooks for you to continue to build your sim story on. Then there is all the goals. So these are all the things that you would have to complete. And then we have the optional goals, which are the things that you could complete. You can see your sim's traits, you can see your sim's career, and I have some recommendations in some cases for potential stuff packs or potential kits to use if I thought there was a very clear relation with one of them, and I can recommend that you take a look so that you don't forget about them. Again, hopefully helping you get more value for your money for all the packs that you've paid and bought from The Sims. As you can see, I have written 34 generations because I recently updated this challenge for Enchanted by Nature. And as you can see, sometimes the generations also get a bit longer because I've been getting better at understanding every single pack to make sure that it's like a full generation worth playing. I also really enjoy writing the little backstories, and I try to refer back to either the previous generations or multiple of the previous generations to actually give your story like some depth. So sometimes I refer to a sim becoming an occult because their great-grandparent was an occult and they found their diary or something like that. But just know that these are little story hooks. You can still play this challenge if you do not own every single pack. These are all written with just that pack of that generation and the base game in mind. So if you do not own a pack of a specific gen, just skip it, and then with the backstory of the next gen, get a little bit creative and change it to your own liking. If it refers back to a generation that you haven't played, you can either just incorporate it through storytelling and pretend it happened, or you can write your own backstory for that gen. That is completely up to you. Just know that you don't have to have all the packs to play this challenge, and it is up to you which ones you actually want to play, which ones you want to skip. You also don't have to play them in order, but then sometimes the backstories might get a little wacky because I do refer back to earlier generations. So now that you know about the challenge and you know where to find all of the rules, like I said, This challenge is extensive, so if you want to keep track of it, I have built a tracker for you. This tracker is also made in Notion, so as you can see, it is a very similar layout. This is also very similar to any of the trackers that I've built for legacy challenges, so if this sounds like your cup of tea, feel free to check out my web shop. All of my trackers are made for free, so you do not have to pay for them, but of course, if you would like to tip as a support of my content, that is always super incredibly appreciated, but please know that you are completely free to download them at no expense, and you can just get them to keep track of your playthroughs. When you get to this dashboard, you can actually see your progress on all of the mandatory goals, you can see your progress on all of the optional goals, you can see which generation you are currently playing. There are just a little bit of information on the rules and credits, so if you want to go back to that page that I just showed you, you can click here. You can actually see all the artwork and who it was made by, and there are 2 master databases that are feeding this. You basically do not need to open those unless you're a Notion wizard and you would like to get more knowledge of Notion. I've also recently actually made a big update to this challenge tracker. So even if you got it before, it might be worth listening to what I'm about to explain to you, because I have completely overhauled not only the look and feel, but also the way that this tracker works. Because actually someone from my community, so huge shout out to Ellie Jane. I've also linked her relevant socials in the description box down below, because this was such a cool inspirational suggestion for this challenge, is to add a Sims database so you can actually keep track of the Sims that are related to that generation. And I have done that. So basically what you can see over here is you can actually see the generational page, and then over here you can see the goals split up in mandatory and optional, where you can see if it's what type of goal it is, and you can keep track of the progress. You can click it, and from here you can actually open the cards. You can add other Sims, you can add your heir, so your heir will always be on the first page, and then the second tab will have all of your other Sims as well. And when you open this, you get to add a bunch of information to this template about your Sim. You get to add photos, you get to add the world that they're living in, you get to add what their status is, so are they alive or have they passed already? If they died, what was their cause of death? Where are they buried? If you want to do a family graveyard, what is their relationship status? And you can link Sims together, so if you have multiple Sims in a generation, you can select which one is the parent, which one is the kid, and if they're married or dating another Sim. This hopefully gives you even more depth to your gameplay when you're playing through this challenge, and hopefully also helps you relate back to some of the things that you've done. Like I said, when I relate back in the backstory to a Sim becoming an occult because they read in a diary from a great grandparent that they were a witch or something, that you can actually incorporate that into this with all the storytelling and with all of your characters and stuff, that you can actually refer back to Sims and refer back to their names and stuff. So I really like this edition. I also just in general cleaned up the generational page a little bit. I think it looks much cleaner now, much easier to navigate. So yeah, if you want to grab this, like I said, it's up on my shop. It is completely free. You just can download it. You do have to get a Notion account. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to sign up for Notion. Once you've created a Notion account, you're going to click on this little button up here that says duplicate, and then you're going to duplicate it to your workspace. Once you click this, it's going to prompt you with a pop-up which workspace you want to add it to. But if you're new to Notion, you're just going to have one workspace, and then you can just add it in there. And from there, you can start to edit. So if you get this through my web shop, you cannot edit the version that is online. You can also see this for me over here. If I open this page, I can actually not click anything. I cannot take off any of the goals. That's purely because the version on my website is protected so that no one can edit it, so that your progress doesn't show up for someone else, but you can duplicate it to your workspace and then you can actually use it. So now I hear you think, this all sounds wonderful. This is a cool legacy challenge. I love to play it. I love to track my progress, but are you playing this challenge yourself? And the answer is actually yes, I am. I upload weekly episodes of this challenge to my YouTube channel, so if you're not subscribed to this channel, feel free to do so. And it is actually linked on my channel page straight as the second playlist that you'll see, or the second collection. I have a total playlist with all of the episodes that I've released so far, and recently I started splitting up the episodes in separate playlists per generation. So if you basically want to hop on to the current story without actually watching any of the prior episodes, because maybe you do enjoy a new legacy challenge or a let's play, but you don't have the time to catch up on everything that I've released before, what you can actually do is you can basically just find the generation that I'm currently playing, which will always be the last one in line, and then from there you can actually start watching the playlist and you can catch up with the story. If you still want to know the backstory of all of my Sims, I have written this out for you. For this, I use the service called the Sims Tree. I am affiliated with the Sims Tree. If you're interested in checking it out, feel free to check out my link and my code in the description box. Like I said, this is an affiliate link, so if you do use it, I will earn a small commission, and I'm also partnered with them on this channel. This specific video is not sponsored by them, but I did want to be upfront about that I am being paid to promote this service as well. In this video, I'm not getting paid to promote it. I'm genuinely promoting it because I am using this service as my primary service to keep track of my Sims legacies as well. And this is my family tree for the pack legacy. And basically all the Sims with a orange background are the founders. That's also why they have an orange line. So these are like the next gens. We're currently playing with Miles Heart. Miles Heart is the generation for Get Together, which is where we're playing with a band and clubs, and it's a lot of fun. So if you want to watch some cool chaos, feel free to come watch that generation. But if you're ever curious about what happened in previous generations, you can open their generational card, and then I've added a bunch of pictures so you can also see what they looked like, where they lived, etc. And you can see who their parents are, who their friends were, who their cats were, and all of their information about where they've lived, what aspirations they did. And also I've written out their entire storyline so you can catch up with everything without needing to watch all the episodes. With this, I'm hoping that people feel more comfortable like basically jumping into the legacy challenge at a later point. And also this is awesome for me to be able to look back and see what my Sims have lived through, what they've done in their life, and also just over time seeing this family tree grow. I'm also doing this for my Not So Berry challenge that I'm playing on my Twitch streams, which by the way, if you ever want to see me play The Sims live, feel free to come hang out on my Twitch streams. It's also linked in the description box down below. But yeah, that's basically the pack legacy challenge with my own playthrough with the tracker and all of the information that you need to know. I hope that you guys love this challenge as much as I do. If you enjoy the challenge because you've been playing through it, or if you're completely new and you're just discovering it with this video, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this challenge. And like I said earlier, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss videos either from my Pack Legacy series or from potentially my new upcoming legacy that I'm gonna write later this year. And if you like this video, please toss it a cheeky like because it does really help the video get to more people. And with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye everyone!